Started. So, Baruch Hashem, we're going to touch into this week's Parashat, of course. But before we touch on this week's Parashat, I want to just go and give a little bit of brief introduction. And last week, most of you were here. I think Baruch Hashem, you heard it on YouTube if you weren't here. And we spoke about this concept that Yaakov Avinu, after he takes the bracha from Esav, Esav says in his heart that he's going to kill his brother. Rashi explains that his mother heard through Ruach HaKodesh, through divine intervention. She tells her son to leave. Her son leaves. Hashem does Kshat HaDerech. He shortens the way for him. And he gets to Haran very quickly. He says to himself, wait a minute, how could it be I didn't pray to the place of my forefathers? He puts his thought to go back, and right away he got back to Hamakom. What's Hamakom? Says Rashi. Every time we see the word Makom, according to Gemara, it's Har HaMoriah, Beit HaMikdash. Yeah? Har HaMoriah. And he gets over there to Har HaMoriah. Good? That's what we spoke about a little bit last week. But before we get over there, I wanted to just focus in on another point. The Midrash, in Midrash HaGadol, it relates that when Yaakov Avinu left, meaning when he first left the house, he tried to do it in a secret way. He tried to do it a way where Esav wouldn't find out. Because imagine your brother wants to kill you. We spoke about last week, when he left, he had two plans. One, to get away from his brother, and the other one to get a wife, like his father was mitzaveh alav, or decreed upon him. When he left, he actually tried to do it in a secret way, in a way that they wouldn't know. So what did he do? He tried to go secretly. However, Esav got word. And what did Esav do, says the Midrash? He tells his son Eliphaz, I want you to go now, and I want you to go chase after him, and I want you to kill him. I want you to go chase after your uncle Yaakov, and I want you to kill him. So Midrash relates. Now Eliphaz, what does he do? Of course, he's going to do whatever he can to run after his father. Interesting side point. We see Esav, what does he tell his son? Go get back the firstborn, right? The firstborn blessing that was stolen from me. Now, we spoke about it in the past. Anyone who was here last year, we spoke about the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, the Mishnah says there's 4 types of character traits. There's a person who says, Sheli, Sheli, Shelcha, Shelcha. What's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. Says the Mishnah, this is a person, Benoni, in the middle. Ve'esh omrim, and there's some that say, Midot Stom. Midat Stom. It's the people of Sdom ve'Amorah. They don't want nothing to do with you, I don't want nothing to do with you, you don't want nothing to do with me. Says Rashi on the spot, on this Mishnah, that they didn't want them to have any pleasure from their belongings, and I also don't want to have any from your belongings. As a person who's in the middle, Benoni. The Mishnah continues and it says, Sheli Shelcha, Shelcha Sheli. What's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Very common saying in English, no? What's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Very common sense. Says the Mishnah, what kind of person is that? Am Haaretz. You know what Am Haaretz means? A person who's not very educated. Why? Because at the end of the day, he thinks, what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. So what's the tachlit? Meaning, what's the matara? What's the goal here? If I'm giving you just to get back, then am I really giving you? So it's Amari, he's uneducated. He doesn't know the real purpose of purpose of giving. Then the Mishnah continues and it says, Sheli Shelcha, V'Shelcha Shelcha. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is yours. That's a chassid, that's a righteous person. And the fourth one, Sheli, Sheli, Shelcha Sheli. What's mine is mine, V'Shelcha Sheli. Whatever belongs to you also belongs to me. Who is this rasha, who is this wicked person who has the same character trait? Everything that belongs to me, and everything that belongs to you belongs to me. Who was that? Esav. How do we know that was Esav? Listen to who Esav was. Esav, says the Midrash Bereshit Rabbah, that we know, yes, last week we quoted Rashi, that it says until the age of 13, they were indistinguishable, right? You couldn't tell the difference between them. But really the Midrash relates, it also goes to Gemara, there's a goes to Gemara in Baba Batra. It says the Gemara Baba Batra, that at the age of 15, when Esav and Yaakov were 15 years old, they were twins. That's when Avraham Avinu passed away. In those 2 years, from 13 to 15, when Esav's true character came out, he concealed it. How much so did he conceal it? The Midrash relates that he even fooled people to thinking that he was a tzaddik. He was righteous. Like we know, he came to Abba Amma, how much maaser I have to give from the melach? how much 10% do I have to give from salt? His father, you put 2 from salt. Obviously, you don't have to give from the salt. But he was asking because he wanted to think, his father think he's a deep thinker. And not only that, he also even fooled his grandfather. At the age of 15, says the Gemara, Avraham Avinu passes away. On that day, Yitzchak is sitting Shiva. Yaakov Avinu, we know, what did he do? He started to go and cook for his father, the traditional dish that we give to people who are mourning. What is that? Lentil soup. Lentil soup. started cooking him red lentil soup. Now you're going to ask me, side note, why is red lentil soup, what's the point of giving a person red lentil soup when he's mourning? So the Midrash already comes and says, I know you're going to have this question, so it answers. It says the Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah, that because it's round, also the bitzah, a full egg, because it's round. What does it resemble, the roundness? That life is a cycle. And more than that, the Midrash also says that it's a wheel of fortune. That in life, Hashem knows and He picks exactly who and when and where, and that the way things work is in a cyclical way. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. And to have nachama, to have consolement, to understand that the way that life functions in the way it's supposed to, and life happens in the way it's supposed to, and things are round, meaning that there's constant continuation. There's no end. Round is no ending, continuously going. That's one of the things it says. So while he was making his father, the lentil soup, where's Esav? Esav was the only one in the family not mourning. Not mourning. Where did he go, Esav? He went out to the field. Where did he go out into the field? No. Says the Gemara on the spot that he went right away on that day and he did one of the three cardinal sins. Gilu Arayot. He went and took Eshet Ish. He went and took a married woman. Took a woman that was already betrothed to another man and he went and took her. Isu Doraita. You have to die and not do it. Come to Esav and says, now my grandfather passed away. I don't have to fake it anymore. Coming out full force. Now, that's not only it. Says the Tiferet Zion, and a commentary on the Midrash, he says not only did he do that, what else did he do? Listen to what else he did. He actually went and killed Nimrod, the son of the original Nimrod, who was the times of Abraham Avinu. He went and killed him. And that day, he went and massacred the guy, and his two guards that were with him. And more than that, says Sefer Yashar, what else did he do? Nimrod used to have a coat. This coat, it had all types of pictures and animals on it, all types of animals that are on it. And animals were attracted to it. And he right away went and he stole the coat, and that's what made him good at hunting. He would put on the coat, and the animals would come to him. You don't have to go chase after them. Hunting would normally be you have to go out to chase them. Rather, you put on this coat, this mink coat, and now the animals start chasing after you. Yeah? So he just came back that day. And that's why the Pasuk in the Torah says that Esav came back, and he says that he's very tired. And he comes to Yaakov and he tells him, give me from that, put it in my mouth. Rashi said, put it in my mouth right away. Don't even give me anything. Right away, pour it into my mouth. From the bowl, pour it into my mouth. This red soup you have over here, this lentil soup, pour it directly into my mouth. Don't make me wait. So Yaakov tells him, look, if you want the soup, no problem. But tell me your firstborn right. You're the firstborn. I want the firstborn right. Anyways, you don't care about it. Let me get it. So Esav answers him and says, look, if I'm not going to eat now, I'm going to die. So what does it make a difference to me? What do I care about firstborn right, not firstborn right? I don't care. It's yours. Just give me the food. And he makes him swear, so on and so forth. This is the story that happens, right? Now, side note, some people might come to ask and say, oh, wait a minute. What kind of brother is that? Your brother's starving to death, and you're not going to want to give him food. Aren't you Ish Chesed, Yaakov Avinu? So just to answer your question, Farshim explained, Yaakov Avinu had a mitzvah d'oraita. What's a mitzvah d'oraita? Had an obligation for the Torah to go give food to his father. When Esav came, he told him, give me food first. Yaakov told him, wait a minute, I go give Abba and then I come give you. He says, no, I want you to give me first. Yaakov says, that's the case. If you want me to be batel, you want me to give up on my mitzvah d'oraita to push it off, that's the case. For this, I'm going to charge you. I'm not going to charge you for the food.
If he's about to die, wouldn't it override?
No, not necessarily. I think he was in a situation where, in that moment, I'm the end with this whole concept. But the reality is that he told him, I don't care, I'll give you. You're going to get it anyways. But your choice right now to get it now, or to wait, and you're choosing to do it now, because also Esav's mechuyav kibud avim. He said, your choice to do it now, no problem. So he said, if you want to choose to do it now, that's what I'm going to charge you for. And he sells the birthright, and obviously Mefarshim explained that as soon as he sold it, he's scorned. He's like, I don't even care about it, right? Shows that he really didn't care about the mechira. However, we see now, after Yaakov gets the blessing, what does he say? He tells his father, and that's why you called him Yaakov, Yaakvenu Pa'amayim. He came and he surpassed me, or he cheated me twice. One time when he stole the firstborn right from me, and now he's stealing my blessing. But you see that he never let go of the firstborn right? So he comes to Yaakov and he tells him, what's yours? This red lentil soup, that's mine. Give it to me. And what's mine, the firstborn right, that's also mine. So the Gemara says, the world revolves around me. And I'm not even going into other midrashim. There's a bunch of different midrashim in Midrash Gadol, in Midrash Tanchuma, in Bereshit Rabbah, talking about the conversation Yaakov had with his brother afterwards when he told him that Avraham Avinu passed away. I don't want to tell you what Esav said. Who cares? Who with this? You're telling me he got out of this world. And then he started saying things that were kfirah against Hashem, crazy things that I just today Mamash ran through. We see who Esav really was. And you see, yeah, this midah. What midah? What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. I have no interest in sharing with you. I don't want to give it to you, so on and so forth. Yeah? Mefarshim explain that if you look into the pasuk right before this situation when Esav comes back and he finds out that his brother took the blessing, Yitzchak, what does he say? V'gam hu, and also he will be blessed. Why did Yitzchak say gam, also he'll be blessed? Meaning now you found out that Yaakov came and stole the blessing. And then Yitzchak says, and also he'll be blessed. Meaning, wait a minute, if he stole it, then you should be upset, no? And Yitzchak said, and also he should be blessed. Rashi writes on the spot to teach you that Yitzchak actually wanted the blessing to go to Yaakov. After he heard, he wanted to go to Yaakov. Why did he want to go to Yaakov? So Mefarshim explained, Yitzchak was actually a little bit concerned. What was he concerned about? He was concerned, he said, wait a minute, maybe I made a mistake. This blessing was intended for the firstborn. When Esav came in, and he said, oh, he cheated me twice when I sold him my firstborn right, and he took my blessing. Yitzchak said, oh, you sold him the firstborn? Okay, so I did the right thing. Also, he'll be blessed, no? You just did yourself up. Thank you very much. Very much what happened. And it's crazy, I didn't come and talk about this, but as a side note, something that we also see, the Mefarshim explained that Esav was so worried that he knew that Yaakov was to take the blessing for him, so he told his father, we're going to make a code between us. How are you going to know that it's me? I'm going to come to you and I'm going to mimic the voice of Yaakov. I'm not going to come to you like me. Why? He thought to himself in his head, Yaakov is a cheater like me. So what would I do? If I wanted to fake it like somebody, I would speak in their voice. No, I would try to mimic them, pretend like I'm them. He said, if Yaakov is going to do it, for sure he's going to try and talk like me. So Abba, you know what you should do? Whenever I come to you, you know how you know it's going to be me? If I'm speaking in Yaakov's voice, you know that it's me. Comes Yaakov now. He was so honest. He didn't want to lie to his father. And everything he did along the way, he did it in the most honest way possible. Hashem says, are you Esav? He says, are you Esav, my firstborn? He says, Esav, your firstborn? I am. Esav, your firstborn. All types of ways to try to go around the words. That way he doesn't get to a place where God says he lies to his father. And he was so tamim, so simple, that what did he say? He said to himself, I'm going to speak in Esav's voice. In Yaakov's, in my own voice. I'm not going to cheat my father. And then what does his father say? Oh, wait a minute. What's the code we had? He's going to come to me. I'm going to feel his hands. I'm going to know that it's Esav, and I'm going to hear Yaakov's voice, and everything's going to go through. Kivachol, you see Esav was making preparations. At the end of the day, what Hashem decrees, he decrees. What Hashem is meant to happen, it's going to happen. Like Sharat Zion writes, I don't know if we said it in the past, in Elachot Yom Kippurim, over there in the bottom, he writes, he says, in life, a person has something to do in this world, he has a tikkun, he has something to fix in this world, you have no choice, meaning to say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to get you there one way or another. He says, how do you know? He says, I have a proof. From Yonah. The prophet Yonah, what happened with Yonah? Hashem comes to him and tells him, go to Nineveh, go correct their actions. Go tell them that you're doing things the wrong way, go correct them. What does Yonah say? No, thank you. I said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, love you, peace out. Where am I going? I'm going on the ship, going to the Yam, going to the ocean. He gets in a boat, they go out to the deep waters. As soon as they get out, boom, a storm hits. What's going on over here? Now, where's Yonah? Everyone, all the goyim are on top of the thing, bugging out. The thing's about to, and Yonah's about sleeping. Doesn't even realize, the best sleep of his life. He's rocking. He's in a new type of mattress. Tempur-Pedic. He doesn't feel. They wake him up and say, look, we're all about to die. What are you sleeping for? Come upstairs, pray to your God. Yonah tells him, look, I don't want to tell you this, but I'm the reason this is happening. Throw me into the water, and all the storm will subside. Now these guys felt bad. So, okay, I'm going to throw this guy in the water now. Come on, it's not nice, kill a guy. They realized at the point where it was him or them. We got to the point now that if we're not throwing him off the ship, we're all dying. They picked him up, they threw him off the ship, comes a whale, swallows him, and the storm stops. Now Yonah is in the stomach of the whale. This is the story that Torah relates. I'm not giving you any information. This is the story that Torah says. He's sitting in the stomach of the whale and praying to Hashem. He says, okay, Hashem, you know what? I understood now. I can't escape it. And then Hashem opens, where is he? On the shores of Nineveh. You have to do it, you're going to do it anyways. You have to fix something in your life, you're going to have to fix it no matter what. A guy came to me the other day and told me, maybe if I leave my wife, I won't have all this suffering. I told him, no matter who you're going to marry, this challenge is going to follow you. Because you have to fix something. You came to this world to fix something. How do you know what you're going to fix? The thing that's the most naguain. The thing that concerns you the most. You have a problem with patience? You have a problem with anger? Oh, there you go. You already know yourself the thing you have to work on. How do you work on it? The first step is the acceptance, understanding that you have a problem. Most people, I'm upset. It's always because of him. It's because this one did this. It's because the first step is saying, okay, now I'm going to change. Is accepting I have a problem. First you accept the problem. Okay, I have a problem now. Now I can start making things to move in the right direction. And that's what we're seeing. Some simple concept over here. But we see, it's a wicked person. Shali, shalcha. No mechila. Shali, shalcha, shali. Everything is mine. The whole world revolves around me. Now what happens, isn't that is beautiful? And actually this ties into this week's parasha beautifully. This whole story of the blessing ties in directly into this week's parasha. Why? Look what happens in this week's parasha. Yaakov leaves Lavan's house after 20 years. 7 years for really Leah, but for Rachel, and then 7 years again for Rachel, and then 6 more years collecting all of his cattle and sheep and money, and then 20 years. After 20 years he leaves. Good? This week's parasha, he just left Lavan. They made a treaty, they made peace, I won't pass this line, you don't pass this line, everything is good. And as soon as he leaves, nice, okay, I have to send now messengers to my brother, because I'm passing by, I have to go, and I see my brother, so I'm letting him know that I'm coming. So he sends messengers. Rashi on the spot, side note, he says, the word that the Allah uses is malachim, angels. So Rashi brings them, he quotes the Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah, he says literally angels. Like Mamash Hashem, he sent angels. The Midrash says that there actually could be 2 interpretations, either messengers that were Basar V'Dam, or specifically angels. Now there's a couple of commentaries that go specifically into this topic in deep. In short, I'll tell you what they say just so you get a little taste of it. The Shlach Kadosh says that really this Elu Ve'elu Divrei Emet. That he also sent Basar V'Dam and he also sent angels. Why? He knew that he had to go out to war with Esav. It wasn't just a physical war with his brother. Ela, it was a war between also in the upper realms with the Malach of Esav. Like we see later on, he gets into the fight with the Samech Mem, which is the Malach of Esav. He goes and he fights the angel of Esav. So he knew there was going to be a war on both fronts. So therefore he sent 2 different messengers, one for Esav and one for Esav, meaning here, and one for Esav Elemana, one for the celestial Esav, the angel. And what's the message he sent them? Both ways it works. The message he sends them is, Im Lavan Garti, right? I live with Lavan. Rashi says on the spot, quoting Midrash and also Rav Moshe Darshan, that what? I live in Lavan Garti, Taryag Mitzvot Shamarti. I kept 613. Garti, the numerical value of 613. I live with him, 613 mitzvot I kept. I didn't learn from his ways. I stayed righteous. Many of the Mefarshim explain, also the Midrashim explain that Yaakov was telling him in a way, look, if you think you're going to overcome me, Lavan for 20 years tried to kill me and he wasn't able to get to me. So don't think that you're going to overcome me. Right? But it's another message he had over there. We're going to get to that in a moment. However, in the celestial level, what was he telling him? If you think you're going to come to me on a spiritual gam, meaning you're going to say, oh, maybe I did something, I was 20 years with a Rasha. They say you hang out with a smoker, what do you smell like? A smoker. You hang out with the wicked people, it ends up becoming who you are. The people you hang out with, it ends up becoming the people you are. Very, very rare you find a person who stands out from the crowd, especially when he's alone. Yaakov Avinu is alone in Lavan's house. Lavan was one of the most wickedest sorcerers in the world. He did voodoo, he had dolls, he was a sorcerer, like one of the Kol I had dolls of Yaakov Avinu. He was trying to pinch it. No, this is really what you think I'm joking. This is what Chazal teach. He had dolls and he was trying to pinch it. And how come it's not working? How come it's not working? Yeah. How come it's not working? One of the I don't know if it's a midrash or one of the mefarshim explain. I don't remember because I'm going off of memory. That he actually sent his daughters, and the whole reason he sent his daughters to get married to him was he was hoping they would sabotage him from the inside out. Meaning, I can't get him from the outside, so let me send an operative inside. So he sent his daughters, and what ended up happening? Yaakov came and cleaned them up. No problem. He another with me full time. Lavan, I can't get this guy. 20 years, you understand? He's trying to destroy him. 20 years. He realizes, okay. Tells Yaakov, telling his wife, look, you can't touch me. And he's telling the Malach, you think that maybe because I was with him, maybe he rubbed off on me? I'm telling you, I didn't learn one thing from him. 630 mitzvot shamarti. Now you can ask me a question. How could it be possible he kept 630 mitzvot? He was outside of Israel. He wasn't even in the land of Israel. Impossible. Impossible that he's going to keep 630 mitzvot. No Beit HaMikdash, no Kohen. What's going on here? How can he keep 630 mitzvot? And this is, by the way, Chazal teach a beautiful lesson from this. Shamarti. What is shamarti? I kept. What does it mean I kept? I kept them in my heart. You're right, maybe I didn't do it. But the fact that I wanted to do it, I kept them close with me, I had in mind I wanted to do them, it's as if I did them. 630 mitzvot, I did every single one of them. We see this concept also with Moshe Rabbeinu. 515 times, Vayitchanan. 515 times it comes to Hashem. The Midrash relates, every single one was a different mitzvah, a different reason. Hashem, let me in because of this. Hashem says, no, until it doesn't enough. And what does it mean enough? He tells them, don't worry, all the things you want to do, all the mitzvot you want to do, the fact that you want to do it, I already consider, ma'aleh alav hakatuv, that's what the Chazal teach, the Torah brings it upon this person as if you already did it. Meaning the fact you wanted to do it, if it was beyond your means. You couldn't do it because of whatever reason, you were stuck, you were tarud, or chas v'shalom, something else happened, Hashem is mashiv as if you did it. Comes Yaakov Avinu and tells the Malach, 630 mitzvot I kept. Every single one of them, I kept them with me. You cannot come to me. And he tells them, Shor v'chamor. Right? V'avadim v'shivchot. Right? What did he say? Shor v'chamor. Who's a shor? Yosef. He tells them, and over there, I had Yosef. And I had the chamor, which one of my other sons learned Torah. Chav Zuvulun, that they were partners back and forth, learning Torah and giving money. And Avadim, that's the Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation, the Avadim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Shifrot, this is talking about David HaMelech, and Abigail. This is the Midrash relates. This is what he was telling the Malach in Shamayim. That he was telling him, if you think you're going to come at me, remember who I am. The Malach telling him, remember, 630 mitzvot shamarti. Not only that, I have Yosef with me, I have Chav Zuvulun with me, I have David, I have Abigail, I have a bunch of different weapons. You can't touch me. Come tells the Malach, this is what the Shlach HaLok brings down, also it's a Midrash over there. And he says that you can't touch me. That's in the Malach level. But what about on the level to the Basar Vadam? Listen to this. We're going to go over here, we're going to look into the words, we're going to go through with me, bear with me, we're going to go a little deep. You have to be holding. But we're going to see every single thing he said, and what was the intention behind it. Rashi quotes them. Good? He tells them like this. I have sojourned with Lavan, and I have lingered until now. Meaning I was a wonder, right? Im Lavan Garti, right? I live with Lavan, I was sojourned with Lavan, and I'm still lingering until now. And he continues. Vayeli shor v'chamor, right? Then I had over here cattle, donkeys, ox, donkey, flock, servants, maidservants. And I'm sending this to you to find favor in your eyes. Says Rashi, Garti, the word Garti, that we just taught a minute ago, comes to resemble Teriyag. Actually, Rashi brings one first pirush. The first answer he gives to this, he says like this. And I did not become a Ben Adam Chashuv, I didn't become a dignitary, a nobleman. I became a ger, I became a wanderer. You look at me, what did I become of me? If you think that the blessing of my father is the Midrash Tanchumai Yoshan, the blessing of my father was what? That I'll be a master over you, that I'm a ruler over my brothers. But look at me today. What am I? I'm a ger, I'm a wanderer. I sojourned with Lavan 20 years, you see nothing became of me. So you have no reason to hate me. That's what he tells him. You have no reason to hate me because if you think the blessing came true with me, it didn't. You see that it didn't come true because look at me. And then he tells him, I got ox and donkey and servants and maidservants. He says, and if you think the next blessing, his father told him was that what? That Hashem will bless him from the dews of the heaven and from the fats of the earth. He tells him, if you think that came true, he's like, I don't have anything that came from the heavens or the earth. I have ox and donkey, what are these and wives and maidservants. This didn't come from the heaven, it didn't come from the earth. These are me. You see, again, and the blessing didn't come true with me. And he was trying to do what? He was trying, says the Tanchuma, he was trying to explain to him, to illustrate to him, not that I have nothing, rather, he's trying to illustrate to him that the blessing that you think that I stole, I'm showing you now that it didn't come true. The blessing that I got from my father, you see, what became of me. I'm a wanderer. I don't have any crazy dew from the heavens, fats from the earth. I have donkeys and cattle. What do I have here? You're telling him, don't you think I got a blessing? I didn't get a blessing. Now right away you hear this, and I remember I asked myself this question today when I was reading. I said to myself, wait a minute. Is Yaakov Avinu coming to say now that the blessing of Yitzchak has no value? Huh? What are you coming and telling your brother now? Oh, look at me. What became of me? You think the blessing came true? You told me I'm going to be a master over you. I'm going to be a lord of my brothers. And look, I became a wanderer. He said, I'm going to have from the dews of the heaven and from the fats of the earth. All I got was ox and donkeys. That's what he's saying, in other words. That your father's blessing didn't come true. So what are you trying to say about your father's blessing? Are you trying to say, is Yaakov Avinu trying to say about the blessing of Yitzchak Avinu that didn't come true. Chas v'shalom. It's possible that Yaakov was such a thing. Listen to this Kli Yakar, beautiful Kli Yakar. You have to be with me though. I'll tell you, we're going a little deep. A beautiful Kli Yakar. The Kli Yakar says, he says, wait a minute. Rashi brought two answers. What were the two answers? One is that he came to the piece of his brother. Look, what became of me? I'm a wanderer. The blessing didn't come true. And the second answer was, Im Lavan garti, taryag mitzvot shamarti. I live with him, 630 mitzvot I kept. So on one hand, he's attacking him. On the other hand, he's, which one is it? Pick a front. And Rashi says, two different pirushim. Davar acher, it's a different interpretation. He didn't say it's one and the same. Here's the Kli Yakar, it seems to me, and he says, look, who am I to be Rashi's kadosh? We can't say anything against Rashi, but he says, it seems to me that both answers are one. And he says, and this is what Yaakov came to say. He didn't come and say chas v'shalom that his father's blessing had no value. Rather, this is what he told his brother. He said, when Abba blessed me, he had in mind to bless who? To bless you. He didn't have in mind to bless me. And therefore, he says something beautiful. He says, that a person can never take the blessing that's intended for another person. And all the trickery that I did, putting on the coat and the jacket and everything like that, it was for the Shav, it was for no reason. Because at the end of the day, Hashem was, Abba was kaven alecha, Abba had attention on you, and therefore the blessing didn't come to me. As you can see, obviously, what did he say? That I'm going to be a Lord of you, and you see I'm a wonder. So obviously, Abba wasn't thinking about me. He was thinking about you. And therefore, the blessing you think I stole from you, really it came on you, it didn't come on me. And now, Yitzchak, when Esav came to his father, he told him, please, Abba, make sure hopefully you gave me one blessing, you saved me one blessing, something. Yitzchak tells Esav, he tells him a very nice thing. He says, not nice, for us it's not good, but he says something to him. He tells him like this, and I read it to you. But your brother shall you serve, yet it shall be when they aggravate you, when they aggrieve you, you may remove his yoke from upon your neck. That's what he says to him. He said, what do you mean? What does that mean? He said Rashi, quoting a Midrash, Bereshit Rabbah, that Yitzchak was telling his son, this blessing that I gave him, that he'll be a master over you, that you'll serve him, is only when he keeps the Torah. But if he doesn't keep the Torah, then you're not a servant for him. Rather, you can go up to Shamayim, it's the word of Rashi. He said, you have a claim against him to say, wait a minute, you gave him the blessing on condition that he watches the Torah. And he's not watching the Torah. And therefore, he's not watching the Torah. He doesn't need the blessing. And therefore, I don't have to be a servant. That's what Rashi says. He already put in a condition that Esau is only a servant to you when he goes in the way of the Torah. And if not, chas v'shalom, the other way. The other way. And we see this concept throughout the history of the Jewish nation. That so long as we stick to the way of the Torah, we find success in our endeavors. When we start to veer away from the Torah, then we see the nations of the world come out against us. Look throughout all history of the Jewish nation, Spanish Inquisition, through Hitler, to the first destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, second destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, we veered away from the Torah. And it could be in different aspects. Sometimes it could be in physically not learning the Torah. Sometimes it could be Ben Adam L'Chavero. There's two concepts. There's Ben Adam L'Makom, Ben Adam L'Chavero, between us and Hashem, and between Adam and another person. Hashem says they go hand in hand. There's a reason why there's 10 commandments, and each one of them are side by side, because they both have the same value. Ben Adam L'Makom, Ben Adam L'Chavero. Hashem says this for me the same value. Sometimes you could be holding in these 5 very strong between you and Hashem. But you're lacking over here in the 5 between you and another person. Hashem says it's not worth it for me. I'd rather you be on this side strong and this side strong. As we talked about in the past. And therefore, says Rashi, so long as they keep the Torah, then you have no choice. You have to be a slave over them. But the minute they go away from the Torah, that's it. Come Yaakov, when he tells Esav, he tells him, and if you want to say that the only reason these blessings didn't come upon me, meaning I really got blessed, I took your blessing. And not like I'm saying now that you got the blessing and it's all going according to the intention of the person. And the only reason I didn't get the blessing is because I didn't keep the Torah. Guess what? Shamarti. I kept 30 mitzvot. I was a tzaddik for 20 years. So that can't be the answer. Elamai, what do you see? Says the Kli Yakar. That Abba's kavanah, Abba's intention of the bracha was on you. And I really didn't get the blessing. You got the blessing. And then there's no reason for you to hate me. There's no reason for you to be angry against me. Because the blessing really was on you. And Yaakov tells him in another way, says the Kli Yakar, That I regret the actions that I did, all the trickery that I did, because at the end of the day, they were in vain. Because I thought I was going to get myself the blessing, but you see very clearly that I didn't get the blessing. And that goes back to the concept that we said earlier, that if Hashem wants to give you something, He'll give it to you. And sometimes you think going above and beyond, you're going to gain, you're actually going to lose. How do we see? Yosef, he's in prison 10 years. All of a sudden now comes the halom. We get the dreams. They come now, the two guys come to him and tell him, hey, the bread guy, the cupbearer. I tell him we had dreams. Yosef interprets the dreams, and he tells the cupbearer, look, you're going to go back to your position. Do me a favor. When you get up there, don't forget me. Don't forget your boy. Don't forget the little guys when you get to the big side. Yeah, don't forget me. Bring me an AP. No, get? Don't forget me when you get up there. What happens? Hashem says, twice he told him, 2 more years. What do I do? What do I do? Hashem says sometimes in life, you don't do too much ishtadlut. Too much ishtadlut is not good. Go too much out of your way. And the funny thing is, his mother told him, Rivka already told him all that he'll suffer for what he did. He came to say, Ima, how do Alai. Alai, Rashi Tevot, Esav, Lavan, Yosef. The 3 things that fell upon him that day when he went to take the blessing were the 3 things his mom already gave it to him in a memanik before he even started. Alai, 3 words, 3-letter words that to him. Esav, Lavan, Yosef. You're going to have your brother who's going to chase after you, who's going to hate you for the rest of your life. You're going to have my uncle who's going to try 20 years to murder you and do everything he possibly can to get you. And you're going to lose your son Yosef. You forgot Dinah. Really, it should have been a lie. You forgot Dinah also. But that's a different story. That's happened for a different reason. Because he hated. Another reason, also Esav. Because he hid Dinah from Esav when he came. Long story short, we see the clear cut gives a beautiful answer. That it wasn't that Yaakov Chas v'Shalom had a doubt in the blessing of Yitzchak. No. It was that he had a doubt in the concept, the conceptual, okay, maybe Abba didn't have me in mind. Now also Yaakov didn't know that his father said, V'gam hu yeh baruch, v'gam yeh baruch, meaning this one also will be blessed. He didn't know that. And all this, he was building on the premise that his father was still on the trickery, but he doesn't know that his father said the blessing stays with him. You know what I mean? But the reality is he's coming to Esav, he's trying to appease him, he's trying to do, and we all know what happens in the continuation of the story. Esav hears the news, he gets to the good heart, he's happy, yeah? No, he doesn't care. He comes the messengers back, and they said Esav is coming, and 400 men are with him. He's coming to put you on the shish kebab. Now, says the pasuk in the Torah, the Yaakov became very frightened. He said, what can happen now? Now, I would love to give a shiur on why Yaakov got frightened, because it's a whole shiur in itself, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into it, on why Yaakov was fighting, because it's mamash, we have a lot to talk about over there. But we see Yaakov is fighting. He's afraid. His brother's coming now. And what does he do? Says Midrash Tanchuma Buber like this. 3 things he prepared. First thing he did, he prayed. Hashem, please be with me, protect me from my brother, protect me from my, save me, save my family. So on and forth, he prayed to Hashem. Second thing he did, he sent gifts. What kind of gift did he send? We'll see in a minute. And the third thing he did was prepared for warfare. Kivechol, first things first, I prayed to Hashem. Enemy is coming towards your way. First things first, now you pray to Hashem. Hashem, please protect me. Second thing is, we try to send gifts. Why does send gifts? How do we take this and make it practicality to our lives? Chas v'shalom, you get into an altercation. Chas v'shalom, something happens to your life. You have 3 things right now. Your Kavavin already taught you how you deal with every situation in your life. First thing first is prayer. Because without prayer, and atzlacha. Second thing is send matanot. When send matanot, use good words. Matanot with your milim. No, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. A man of your stature, this, that. Talk to the person according to his what's it called? Give him a gift of a milim. And while you're doing all of this, prepare for war. What do you prepare for war? Have the fist in the back just in case. Boom! Because you never know. How do you mean? You never know. One time, one hand is praying, other hand is talking, other hand is ready coming to the head. Eh? Gotta give him a good one. Don't forget the pivot, Long story. So we see Yaakov did all these 3 things. Now why I say this, a few things I want to focus in on. Side note, just something cute that I saw along the way. It says, Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, when Yaakov sent Esav gifts, what kind of gift did he send him? He sent him a tenth, gold, silver, and a tenth of his animals. It says Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer. Now if Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer didn't say this, I wouldn't say this. He says Yaakov neglected to give the maaser, to give his 10% of the animals to Hashem. Says Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, and therefore Hashem obligated to give it to him to Esav. No, what does he teach from over here? He teach Then in life, if a person wants to give me takev, he wants to, okay, I'm not going to give my maaser, Hashem says one way or another, either you choose to give it to me, or it's going to go to Esav. Who's Esav? The IRS. That's not okay. Now, with that being said, we are accepting donations. Stop. But one way or another, either you're going to give it over here, you're going to give it over there. Why? I explain it to people all the time. What's maaser? Think about myself for a minute now. Maaser is a way of Hashem telling you, you want me to be a part of your business? 10%. Imagine now you have, Lord there, think about the best businessman you know in the whole entire world. Obviously, I've told to a million times. It doesn't compare to Hashem. Imagine now you go on Shark Tank, yeah? Now comes one of the sharks and tells you, you know what? And he's a chashuvi guy. 10%. I want only 10% of your business. That's all I want. And you know this guy's going to blow the business up. I only want 10%, but that's my 10%. And I'll be a part of your business. You say, okay, I'll take a deal. They tell him, okay, now where do I give it to? Look, I'm a multi-billionaire. I don't need your money. Take the 10% and give it to this orphanage. Mistaber? Hashem says the same thing to you. He says, you want me to be a part of your business? I'll be a partner with you, no problem. I'll be mashkia itcha. How? I want 10%. I want 10% investment in your business, and then when it comes to pay up, I don't want it. Give it to somebody else. But if you don't use it, then you lose it. You don't want to give it over here? No problem. You're going to get over here. All of a sudden, one day, getting a phone call. Hey, the AC broke down. This, that, the tire, there's a leak. All the problems in the world where the 10% can go. Not missing any places. So, be smart. Give it from the beginning to the right places. Afterwards, Yosef, you're walking around the credit card. Stop. Long story short, we see, what does the Mishnah say? Who's the righteous person? Sheli, Shelcha, Shelcha. Yaakov Avinu, he sold him the birthright. No, it's mine. Sheli. And all my animals that I collected after 6 years of working, 7 years I worked for Leah, really Rachel, and another 7 years for Rachel again, and then 6 years I kept on working to build up all these animals for myself, and I give them to you, and I'm giving them to you, and I give them to you. You see, Sheli, Shelcha. And Ma Shelcha, what's really, it's supposed to be mine, the Bechorah, but you think it's yours, you can have it. It's yours. That's the righteous person. But who did it even bigger than Yaakov Avinu? Who took this to the next level? And this is what we came to talk about. But before we're going to get over there, we have one more stop along the way, and then we're going to get to the main point. Why do I want to give you the stop along the way? Something that occurred to me last week. Last week, after I gave the class, happened to be I knew one part, but boom, together they clicked. Something I found, I'll show it to you now. We go back to the story now. Esav leaves. Mechila. Yaakov leaves Esav. Says the Midrash Gadol, Esav tells his son, Eliphaz, go and kill him. Go and get rid of him now. Yeah? Now Eliphaz, he doesn't know what to do. He was a little bit hesitant. Why? Because there's two reasons he's hesitant. First things first, says Tosafot HaRosh, like this. He says that he went to his mother, and he told his mother, what do I do? His mother says, don't go and fight him, because if you do, he'll kill you. How do you know Yaakov would have killed him? Yaakov goes to get Rachel. All the shepherds are sitting out. He says, what are you doing over here, you lazy bums? Why are you not working? It's already the hour of the day you need to work. Tell him, look, we can't do anything until all the shepherds in the town come and lift the cap of the well. Yeah? We need all the guys, all the shepherds in the town to lift it. All of a sudden, he sees Rachel coming with the herd of Lavan. Comes Yaakov by himself. What 10 men they needed? Whoop! Like a bottle cap. Pops the thing off. 10 men. Yaakov comes, doosh, he gives it one flick and the whole thing flies. Who's over here? Who's over here? Yaakov Avinu wasn't a stranded guy. Everyone thinks Yaakov Avinu, Pashut, each time Yoshev Ohalim, simple guy learning Torah. These Avrechim, they got it. Be careful with Avrechim. These learning guys, they got it. Don't think they're... Yaakov Avinu flicked off the thing with like a cap. Boom! Like that. What happened over here? 10 men! Says his mother to him, don't you dare go fight him, because if he'll kill you. Listen to this, what Tosfot HaRosh says. This is ridiculous. He says, if your cowardly father wasn't afraid to go fight him himself, he would have done it himself. This is what he said. And therefore he's sending you, Korban, and go sacrifice yourself. He's too afraid to do it himself. Let him go. So he says, okay, what can I do now? But he says, okay, look, I have a mitzvah d'oraita. I have to respect my father. So he goes, and he leaves. And he father goes, he catches up with Yaakov. Now, happens to be, it's also the Tanchuma brings down, the Eliphaz used to learn in the Shiva where? With Yitzchak also, he learned under Yitzchak. And he also had Yaakov, Famim, Shem Ve'ever. They would see each other. He respected Yaakov. He says, look, I don't want to kill you. I don't want to hurt you. What do? I have to respect my father. On the one hand, I respect my father. On the other hand, I don't want to kill you. What could I do? So Yaakov tells him, look, I have a solution for you. There's a Gemara, Masechet Nedarim, that says there's 4 people that are considered to be like the dead. He says, what are they? The first one is a pauper. The second one is a person who's a metzorah, a leper, a person who gets leprosy. The third one is a blind person. And the fourth one is a person who doesn't have kids. Now, we're going to break down 2 of them. One of them, 2 of them, whatever, just for the sake of understanding. When we say a pauper, a poor person, says the Khatam Sofer, he says, wait a minute, what does it mean a poor person? A lot of people in the world who are poor. And they're not Nishav Komet. And the Pasuk, and the verse that the Gemara gives to prove it, it says like this. This is the Pasuk. It says, and Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu when he was in Midian, go back to Egypt because everyone that's running after to kill you already died. What do you mean they died? The Gemara uses this to prove that they didn't die, that they became poor. Elamai, we see from this Pasuk that these people became poor. Says the Khatam Sofer that they actually used to be prestigious people. And what happens? Yardu, they came down from the Nechasim, and that's what it means. The Gemara, when it says a poor person considered to be like Met, it's not just a stam regular person. It means that a person was very, very wealthy, and all of a sudden, boom, in 1 minute, lost all of his wealth. What we see last week, we saw, I don't know if I mentioned it, maybe in the end of you heard it, but I didn't mention it in the class. We talked about Yaakov Avinu had a dream, and the dream was a sulam. V'hineh sulam. I'm going to get to that in a minute now. Hineh sulam, there was a sulam. The gematria of sulam, the Ben Ish Chai brings down the name of his father, that the gematria sulam is Mammon, 130, because without the Vav in the Torah. Mammon. 130, 130. He says sulam Mammon. So what does it mean sulam Mammon? He says the way that a sulam, that a ladder can be flipped upside down, is the same thing Mammon. So what do you mean? So the Ben Ish Chai had the story. He says, I'll tell you a story that illustrates the point beautifully. And it's a parable, just for us to understand the point. One day, a guy built over there a beautiful ladder, and he puts in all the rungs. When he finally gets to the last rung, the top rung, he puts in the rung, and the rung in the top. He says, look at me, I'm chashuv. Huh? You know, the carpenter who made this ladder, he knew what he was doing. He picked the right rung, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason over the top. Hey boys, what's going on down there? And he's began at small. All of a sudden, the woman was walking by. She hears the top rung going crawl. She just picks the ladder up, whoop, flips it upside down, and puts it back up. Now the top rung became the bottom rung, and the bottom rung became the top rung. He says, so too Hashem, if he wants to, in 1 second he can take away your nehasim. And once he can be on top, and 1 second he can be on the bottom. And Hashem is the one who decides where he's going to be. However, if he continues, that the bottom rung, when it got to the top, he said to himself, I'm not going to be a gaftan, I'm not going to be a holy person the way he was, because I know what it was to be on the bottom. Understand? I know what it was to be on the bottom, and therefore I won't be Miguel at me that I'm on the top. And this person will stay on top forever, because he knows that everything comes from Hashem. Certain people in the world, Hashem gives them Ammon. He gives them wealth, he gives them sustenance, and they use it as a klala. They come with Miguel, kulam, look at me, look at me, look at me, this, that. Yeah, okay, no problem. That's how you want to be. Chake. Whoop. 2 minutes, the ladder's going to flip. No mind by ya. But if you keep yourself humble, you stay at the top. Stop, side note. Now, what I say all this, we see that when he leaves, and he first comes to him and tells him, look, so Yaakov tells him, take my money, and I'll be like I'm dead. Right? Like we see the Khatam Sofer says, I had money. The Midrash relates that what happened. That Yaakov really had money. And Yitzchak sent him with money. Right? We're going to see that the Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah says that asks the question, wait a minute, Yaakov didn't have anything with him? When Abraham sent Eliezer to go get away from Yitzchak, he sent him with 10 camels, a nose ring, and bracelet. He didn't send his son with nothing. Says he sent him. Eliphaz took it all. Says how much did he take? Says the Sefer Yashar, he took all of his clothing, left him naked. Everything he took. Everything. Didn't leave him even clothing. The whole 9 yards. Side note. Anyone who came, been here around, they know my personal, this is one of mine, from the Chidushei HaMaori, yeah? Yeah, this is one of my personal ones, that the concept of Talmidim, of Yeladim, that a person who doesn't have children is considered to be like Met. So anyone who was here in the past, they heard me say this concept, that occurred to me one time. You take the word Talmidim, and you take the word Yeladim. Take from the word Talmidim the word Met, Mem Betaf, and you have left Yeladim. A person doesn't have Yeladim, if he takes away the Met from the Talmidim, he has Yeladim. If he takes away the Met of the Gemara. The Gemara says you're dead if you don't have Yeladim. If you have Talmidim, if you have students, it's like a to be like you have children. How you know? We spoke about it in the past. when you bring a person to shul, when you bring a person to start coming, and this person becomes religious because of you, all the masim that he has comes in your merit. Mashal, a person goes up to Shamayim. Now you know in Shamayim, Chazal teach there's Moznaim. You know what Moznaim means? A scale. And what do? Every mitzvah you do creates a manach. Every avera you do creates a manach. Every mitzvah you do creates an angel. Every avera you do creates an angel. What do? They come the prosecutor and what's the other one? The prosecutor and the Sanigor v'kadigor. What's the other one in English? The prosecutor and the good side. Yeah, whatever. The good lawyer and the bad lawyer. They come and they put your angels on both sides. And whatever outweighs, where they figure out where you're going to be. However, sometimes, unfortunately, the scale can go the other way. Now, when you have a person that you help him, the story of a person comes to Shamayim, he comes out, it was exactly even. No here, no here. He has a 50-50. So now what is he going to do? He said, wait a minute. We forgot. One time, this guy took this guy to the shiur. Let's open his book now and see all of the merits that are his. They belong to him. Because if he never brought him, he never would have been there. And therefore, he has a schut, he has a merit in that, as if he's like his child. Therefore, they open up this farim, the other guy. And then they start to be omed lelo skuto. And now all of a sudden, boom, 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 he gets more mitzvot, and then Baruch Hashem, he finds himself a Gan Eden with mansions and a private beach and Aruba. Cocktail in the end, כן? Pina colada, כן? I'm מקווה, we're going to get up there, there's going to be a lot of kasazuz going around. Stop, let's get around. But you get the idea. Now, Yaakov comes and tells him, Father, I have a solution for you. What's the solution? Take my money, and I consider it to be like a man, and therefore you satisfy everything. Now, listen to this. This is something that came to me last week. Says the Midrash Bereshit Rabbah. It says at this point, Yaakov Avinu is talking to himself, and he starts to sing Shir LeMa'alot Esa Einai La'arim. He starts to sing the Pesuk bin Tehillim, Kuf Chaf Aleph. Shir LeMa'alot Esa Einai La'arim. A song to the eye. I'm going to put my eyes to the Harim, to the mountains, to my parents, to the Avot. Where's my help going to come from? Starts singing this Pesuk in Tehillim. The Midrash relates that what happened. He says to himself, when Avraham sent Eliezer to get a wife, he went with 10 camels, a nose ring, a bracelet. I'm going empty-handed. What am I going to use to make Mekadesh Isha? What am I going to use to sanctify her? I don't have anything. I don't have anything to do. I can't sanctify even. I can't even marry the woman. Should I just go back home and give up my mission? Where's my help going to come from? My help will come from Hashem. And then he says, he gets to the end of the pasuk, and then it says in the end, that's the end of the pasuk. At that moment, and he goes. As soon as he says the word that Hashem will watch you where you leave and when you're leaving and when you're coming, he left. He left and he went on his way and said, Hashem will be with me, I'll figure it out. Good? Now, why did I think this so interesting? Last week's parasha, when we learn about the dream that Yaakov had, we look over there, we medayek in the Lashon, we see, it says, Hine Sulam, Hine Malachi Elokim, Hine Hashem, what's it called? Nitzav Elav. So we see the word Hine. Also, you look in Yosef, and in Paro, you see Hine. Says the Or Chaim, what's this Hine? And here there is, so how would you say Hine? And there is. He says, wait a minute, what is this Hine? What is this word over here? Says the Or Chaim, he quotes a pasuk. The pasuk is like this. In Zechariah, it says, and dreamers speak lies. Kivechol, that dreams don't have any vows. Really, it's a machlok, it's a stira. Gemara Masechet Brachot talks about it. But we know today, even today in our times, many of the poskim hold that today, who most of the dreams we have today are dimyonot. Our imaginations, are figures of imagination, things you saw throughout the day, things that but you know what I mean. It's things you thought about during the day, work, this, that. Most of the time you have dreams, it's about these things.
Unless it's 3 times. And
says the Or Chaim that even sometimes it has a little bit substance to it, it has some material, but it's only because something you had in the day. Actually, I heard a story about one of the Rabbanim in Israel. He used to finish all the Shas, all of the Gemara, from Pesach to Pesach. He came to his Talmidim one time in Elul, and he told them, I have to do a Siyum Masechet. They said, okay, Rabbi, we're going to come. He said, which Masechet you finishing? His Brachot. The first one in the whole thing. It's already almost 6 months in. Almost at the end already. We're 9 months. Where are we now? We're almost at the end of the year. He goes, okay, Rabbi, how did you get to Brachot? You should already be way deeper than that. Rabbi tells him, no, this one I finished in a dream. Mamash, he was dreaming about the Gemara. He finished it in his mind. I always see, so the person what he's thinking about during the day, that's what he's going to ask in the dream. And he says, oh, Chaim, the most of the dreams that the people have are blurry. They're not very clear. You don't remember. You wake up, had a dream. What happened? I don't remember. It's like already. He says, why did the Torah use the word hineh? To teach you that everything that Yaakov Avinu saw was barur, was clear to him like shebesh. He saw it clearly, vividly. It wasn't a dream, it was a nevuah, it was a prophecy. Everything he saw. Hineh sulam, anachim yordim vo, and everything he saw. Everything he saw, it was as if it was a prophecy. He says, this is what the word hineh comes to teach you. Hineh. Then I read this midrash in Shir Hashem in Bereshit Rabbah. And it says, Yaakov Avinu, which pasuk did he use? Shir LaMa'alot. And what does it say over there in that pasuk? Hineh lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael. In that pasuk it says, here we will see that Hashem doesn't sleep, he watches over Eretz Yisrael. Kivechol, what a person in his life, he thinks to himself, Hashem really going to be there for me? Hashem really going to help me? Says the Or Chaim, barur, it has to be so clear to you. Hineh lo yanum velo yishan. Has to be so clear to you that Hashem doesn't rest, He doesn't sleep. He watches over us 24/7. He watches over you. He watches over you everywhere you go, in every place, every time you leave, every time you come. Hashem watches you everywhere you go. Hineh, it has to be clear. It's not a dimyonot, not imagination, not a figure. It's clear. Hineh lo yanum velo yishan. That Hashem will be there for you everywhere you go, every place, every nook, every cranny. Hashem is going to be there for you. How clear does it have to be to you? Hineh. The way these dreams were clear to Yaakov Avinu. He saw them, he remembered them, they stayed with him. They were not just a figment of imagination, it was something clear. You could see it, it's in his mind. The same way we have situations in our life, you have to know that Hashem is going to be with you, that clearness. He's going to be there with you. That's it, that's Hashem is with me everywhere I go. Now, I came to focus about this topic, but this was a side note, something that occurred to me last week. With the finish of what we were talking about before, we see who operated on this level of righteousness, of Chassidut, more than Yaakov Avinu, Rachel. Rachel Imenu, just to abbreviate, shortly I'm going to tell you. We see Yaakov Avinu, when he gets to Lavan comes on, he gives him a hug, gives him a kiss. What is he hugging and kissing him? Farshim explained, he was hugging him to pat him down, to see if he had any money. He was kissing his cheeks to see if he had any gold in his teeth. Then he told him, come to my house. Why did he tell him come to my house? He was waiting for the entourage to come after him. He said, he remembers that when Eliezer came, he came with 10 camels. He came, flew star. He said, okay, if this is the son of the guy that married my sister, he also gonna have a lot of money. So he came and said, okay, I'm gonna give him a hug. He pat him down, no money. He says, okay, maybe he has in his teeth, no money. He says, okay, maybe he's a little bit faster than the other guys. They're gonna come after him. So he said, come to my house, stay for 30 days. He stays for 30 days. 30 days, and now he says, Chinam, not for free. Rashi says, no Chinam. 30 days he was working for him. Come stay by me, but go out to the field and work. And Chinam. After 30 days, he finally comes to him and says, look, if he really cares, I can't continue having my flesh and blood work for me for free. Name your wage. Yanu, like he actually cares. If it was up to him, Yaakov would work the rest of his life, but he knew it was not realistic. So he tells him, what's your wage? So Yaakov tells him, Rachel, your youngest daughter. Rachel bitna katana. Rachel, your daughter, the youngest. Why did he specify all three? We spoke about it in the past. So that Varan wouldn't cause any trickery. If I told him Rachel, if I told him just Rachel, he'd go to the store and give me another Rachel. If I told him your daughter, he'd give me another daughter. If I told him your youngest daughter, you have a new daughter and give me that one. Yeah, trickster. Everything I had to specify with him to the T. And even still, guess what? 7 years later, he still tricked him. 7 years later, he gave him Leah. He told him, I'm 7 years working for you for who? For Rachel. 7 years later, he gave him Leah. How do you know I gave him Leah? Oh, he says that to get married.
He work first and then you have to get married.
The first one he did. 7 years he worked. And then the second one, afterwards when he got married to Leah, then he says, I'll work another 7 years for Rachel. He said, okay, I'll do you a favor. I'll give you Rachel first, and then work another 7 years to pay it off. Payment plan. He put him on a payment plan after the fact. But the first one, he worked 7 years. How do you know? We do the math. We did it last time. 84, whatever. Long story short. 63 plus 14 plus 7 years that he worked. 84 when he got married. Long story short, he comes over there and says, I want to work for your daughter. 7 years he's working, and like in his eyes, it was like a day. How much he loved Rachel. It was like one day in his eyes. That's how much he loved her. Now, back then, the weddings weren't like what we have today. Wedding, Sharet Zion, you come in, the lights are blasting, you have over there a DJ, you have flowers, $300,000 wedding. Then it was the middle of the night, there was no lights, there was no nothing, you barely saw the wife. You didn't even know who was the she came away with the veil. Yaakov said, I know your father's a trickster. He's going to try and trick me. So what? I'm going to give you a secret word we're going to keep between us. This word I'm going to tell you, only you're going to know. And I know when I get to the chuppah, we're standing under the chuppah, I'm going to tell you what's the secret word. You're going to tell me the word, I know it's you. The day of the wedding, Rachel sees her father is preparing who to get married? Leah. Leah's preparing to get married now? Yes or no? Leah. Now Rachel knows that she doesn't have a password, right? She knows that if you're not going to tell them the word, the secret word, what's going to happen? They're going to know right away. Now Lavan was smart. What did he do? He didn't just do a small wedding. He invited everybody. He rented out the Metropolitan and said, everybody got to come. Send out invitations to everybody. We're going to do it big. It's going to be Ram catering. It's going to be the whole 9 yards. We're going to have everything. Everybody needs to come. The whole neighborhood came. Big wedding. Rachel says to herself, wait a minute. If I'm going to... I have two options now. I can either keep the secret to myself and then marry my husband, or I can give the secret to my secret word to my sister, and she can end up marrying the person that I want to marry. And I could lose him forever. And Torah says, her eyes were soft from tears. Why? Because she cried her whole life because she was afraid she was going to get married to Esav. Since she was a child, Midrash relates, they told her you're going to get married to Esav. She cried her whole life not to get married to Esav, and you see her prayers worked. Kosh Baruch Hu ended up giving her Yaakov. Rachel has a situation to make. I'm either going to tell her or I'm not going to tell her. She decides I'm going to tell her. She tells her sister. Yaakov wakes up in the morning. He figures out who did he marry. I know, this is the wrong sister. What's going on over here? He gets up, he tells me, Hashem, you tricked me. How did you do this? How did this? How did that? Says Lavan to him, don't worry, we're going to finish Sheva Brachot. After the seven Brachot, we're going to do now, we're going to get married to the second one. I give it to her now, and then another 7 years of work for her. 14 years, and then you can get both. Go on your way. Yeah? Okay, what can I do? No problem. He ends up getting, I'm really making it short. He ends up getting married to Rachel. Now every one of them came with a shifcha with a maidservant, and he got married. 4 wives. Right? We have all the imaot, right? Now every one of them have children except for Rachel. Rachel is barren. This one has children, this one has children, this one has children, until the point Rachel says, okay, you know what, I can't have kids, take my maidservant. Then Leah says, oh, I finished having kids now, here's my maidservant. Then she had more kids after. Everyone's having kids except for Rachel. One day, the Pasuk in the Torah says that Hashem remembered Rachel. What does he remember? What do you remember? All of a sudden, he remembered she existed? Or Hashem didn't know she was around all these years? All of a sudden, Hashem remembered her. Says Mefashim on the spot that he remembered the chesed, the charity that she did with her sister, and therefore, he opened up her rechem. He opened up her womb, and she was able to have children. Because of the chesed she did with her sister 7 years, 5 years, 6 years earlier, whatever it may be, the amount of years earlier, Hashem ended up opening her rechem today because she did that. Now, retroactively, inversely, if you go back, if she didn't do it, what would have happened? She would have married him. Hashem wouldn't have had what they remember. They wouldn't have kids. Says the Gemara, 10 years, then you have to divorce her. It's over. 10 years, no kids, you guys have to get divorced. And guess what? Then Yaakov would end up getting married to Leah. And Rachel would get stuck with Esav. No, didn't work out for anybody, right? But the reality is, that's how it works sometimes in our life. We think that we're going to go with our way of thinking. Hashem says, if you go in my ways, you're never going to lose. You do what's right. You don't ever gain on the expense of other people. You don't ever gain on the expense of other people. It's worth it for you to not embarrass your sister and to give up your husband, even though then you're going to get him. And wait, it even goes further than this. Why did Hashem wait so long? Right away. Should she give it right away? Why did he wait? There was a situation that happened. Leah goes out to the field when she was no longer able to have children. Her son comes back with dudaim, with special berries that are known to help with fertility. And Rachel comes to her and says, can you give me a dudaim to help me so I'm able to get pregnant? What does Leah tell her? It wasn't enough that you took my husband. Leah tells Rachel, it wasn't enough you took my husband. Now you also want to take my son's dudaim? Now, does anyone in the whole entire world with a normal mind, what are you going to say to her? I took your husband? I took your husband? You should say, lucky I told you the word. Otherwise, you would be over. I don't know where you would be today. And what does Rachel tell her? Nothing. She doesn't mention a peep. She doesn't say, wait a minute, I'm the one who told you. It's because of me. She didn't say anything to her. And guess what? Then Hashem says, now I remember you. Why? Because it's not enough to do chesed. It's chesed that's unconditional. I gave my sisters my husband, And when I did it, it wasn't like I'm holding something against her now. Now I have something on you. No. I did it wholeheartedly. There's no attachment to it anymore. No, I did it for you now. God gives you money. Says, I give a donation to the shul. And then a week later, he calls you back. Look, I don't know. Hello. What, we don't want your money. Take your money back. What kind of donation is this? No, I want a donation, but on condition. What's the condition? That you have my name and this. Take your money already. We don't need it. You go, it's okay. Acher gave unconditionally. She said, okay, I'm not getting involved. I gave. Now her sister comes to her face and tells her, it wasn't enough you stole my husband. Now you also want to take my dudaim. Any normal person would have said, what are you talking about? Are you crazy in the head? You took my husband. The only reason we're here in the first place is because you took my husband. And Acher doesn't say anything. He says, you're right, I'm sorry, we'll trade. I'll give you tonight, he's supposed to be in my tent, I'll give you the night, you give me the dudaim. After that, Hashem, the Pasuk says, and Hashem will remember Acher. Why only now? Because he wanted to see if it was conditional or non-conditional. Mamash, are you doing it for the right reasons? Do you really have something? What? Dudaim worked, Lemaisa, no. Combination of the two. Combination of the two. Okay? And now, Stam, a little story, we end with this story. Stam, a story I heard today about this point. There was the it's a hard one.
One of the rabbis?
Sassafar Rav. The Sassafar Rav. The Sassafar Rav, Rav Moshe Leib of Sassaf. He one time went to Brody on Chanukah.
Went to what?
Brody, the city, in the city of Ashkenaz. If you don't know, a lot of the stories about Shem Tov are happening in Brody. So he goes to Brody in Chanukah. Look what happens now. A big tzaddik comes to town. Sassafar Rav. Everyone is waiting. Sassafar Rav. It's a big thing. Every line is waiting to meet him. A woman, Sarah, gets on the line because her daughter was not feeling well. She got sick. She didn't know what to do. She came to the rabbi to get a blessing. She comes to the rabbi. The rabbi tells her, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. I'm assuring you. Your daughter's going to be up. 100% everything is fine. Then he looks at her and tells her, Sarah, do me a favor. I want you to go home. And I want you to get, you have a silver menorah in the house, right? She goes, what do you mean? How do you know I have a silver menorah in the house? I want you to go home and give me the silver menorah. She was puzzled. She said, okay, the rabbi asks. We do what the rabbi asks. She goes home. She gets the silver menorah. The rabbi calls right away. The Sassafar Rav calls this guy named Yechiel, Rabbi Yechiel. He was an artist because I used to make all types of craftsmanships and menorot and everything like that. He calls him to come and praise the menorah. The guy comes, he praises the menorah. Wow, what a beautiful menorah. I never seen something like this, such a beautiful piece of art, this, that. The rabbi tells him, you like it? He says, yeah, I like it a lot. The rabbi tells him, it's yours, you can have it. And all the Hasidim over there, what's going on over here? And he himself was like, what happened? The rabbi just took this from this woman to give it to me? It doesn't make any sense. What's going on over here? Rabbi, no, take it from the rich to give it to the poor. Makarapo. So he tells him, this menorah, I'll tell you where it came from. Your great-grandfather, his name was Rav Yaakov. He was actually the Talmid of Rav Zusha. Rav Zusha was a big Chassidish Rav. Used to always give him silver coins. When Rav Zusha passed away, your grandfather was so afraid that these coins would go to waste, he melted them down and made them into a menorah. And he refused to sell it to anybody. One day, his children were getting married, and his daughter he found a big Talmid Chacham, very righteous guy, huge Torah scholar to get married with, but he needed to cover all the expenses, weddings, this and that. He gets a call from a guy named Reb Nachum. Reb Nachum calls him over, he says, look, come to my house right now, we'll talk, maybe I can help you out. He comes to the house, he tells him, look, I need help. The guy tells him, I'm going to pay for the whole entire wedding, and I'm going to sponsor 5 years of learning for this guy, but I want the menorah. The guy says, what can I do? It was 3-4 times the value of the menorah that anyone else was offering him. He said, okay, I don't have a choice, I have to sell it to him. Okay, thank you for your help, thank you for helping me, and he sells him the menorah. Good? Then, years pass. Who was this Reb Nachum? This Reb Nachum actually was the father of Sarah. And he passed down this menorah to who? His daughter. Says the Rebbe, that in Shamayim, when her father passed away, Reb Nachum passed away, they took him up for judgment. They took out all the malachim. And they were weighing them on the scales. And they were 50-50. And then they brought out one last mitzvah, one angel, last one, to help your father push him over. Which is that? That he helped his Chatan and Kala. And in the last resort, the prosecuting angel came and said, wait a minute, but he didn't do it for free. He did it for the menorah. And the malach wasn't shalem. And the malach that he created, because he did it with the personal interest, ended up being blind. ended up getting into Gan Eden, but his guy was that malach. He was lost. He didn't know how to get there. Says the Rebbe, the Sassafer Rebbe, that right now when I transferred over ownership from you to Reb Chiel, that malach just got its eyes back. And now your father has the ability to walk again in Gan Eden. Sometimes in life, it's a crazy story, but the reality is that you think to yourself, we have two beautiful lessons over here. The idea of helping other people, but the idea of when you do it, doing it for the right reasons. Because if you do it and you have a personal interest and this and that, you see the malach that's going to be created from it, it's not going to be shalem. It's not going to be whole. And the way to do it is, I'm giving you wholeheartedly. I don't want the menorah. I don't want, if you want to give it to me, I'll take it. Yeah? But I'm not doing it on that condition. I do for you, on a condition I don't need to get anything back. I'm doing for you just to do for you. That doesn't make a difference. And sheli, shelcha. I don't want anything back. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is yours. I don't want nothing back from you. When we operate in that frequency, when we start to do chesed in that way, helping other people and not having any interest in it, then we build olam kulo. Then we olam chesed yibaneh. On chesed, the world is built. When we do chesed to this extreme, to this level, Hashem says, now you build the whole entire world. Now you're starting to build the whole entire world, and that merit will bring Mashiach to Amen. Chazak u'baruch. There's not even, someone's not doing promoting over here.